So something is an easy choice or it's meant to be an easy choice, but I was picking up that like you may be having this preoccupation with like what the right versus wrong thing to do. Something about moral relativism could be um relevant here or something. But in regards to this decision, like I think that you already know what the right thing to do is for you personally, but you could be too concerned with, you know, um I think even like subconsciously, the reason why you're so confused about what to do is because you're afraid of what people will say or like what they will think or how it will be perceived, I guess. And also there is an element of not wanting to choose wrong. But you could just be ignoring the fact that there is no wrong choice. It's just that one is going to make you significantly happier than the other. So it's really a matter of like how important is your emotional fulfillment and like long-term happiness. Like one of the things you will definitely need to compromise more in regards to I don't know. One of them will be more serene. One of them will be ideal. One of them is in alignment with something that you very specifically manifested. Uh and the other can, I guess, technically be a success too, but it will be more rocky and bumpy because it's not aligned. You know what I mean? It's sort of the difference between I don't know, like technically you can drive in a car that's like I don't know, like with like that's like out of alignment or whatever, but obviously like it's going to be, or like technically you can drive, and even if you're like shocks in your car or something are like messed up or whatever, but obviously the ride's going to be bumpier. You may eventually get to where you want to go, but it could look different. Like, you know what I mean? Like it could just be smoother if you follow your emotions or your heart, and that may be the path that is like, the path that may garner a little judgment, but I'm getting that you won't even be around to perceive the judgment that is cast due to whatever decision that you make. And it's not even like I don't even get like you're not going to do anything that's like bad, obviously. um I guess to put it this way, it could be, say for example, you have two separate job offers, right? And maybe, you know uh they're both going to pay the same, they both have the same job title, right? But obviously, they're fundamentally different companies, and then so obviously there's an energetic difference between both choices. One, you may have to go into work and kind of be fake, right? Versus the other one maybe farther away, or it may not be the company that your parents want you to go with, or you know what I mean. um so it's like, I don't know. There's something about not wanting to change your mind from like a choice or a decision that you made in the past, because like I think that you may be too overly concerned with some like principle or something that technically doesn't really matter. Because you should probably try to bring this into the next year and like your whole life or whatever. But at the end of the day, as long as you aren't harming yourself or other people, you kind of are supposed to just do what is like going to make you the happiest. Again, as long as you're not hurting yourself or other people. But if it's a matter of like, oh, my parents would be disappointed if I did this over this, or you know uh my friends won't like it if I do this over this, or oh, I'm gonna hurt somebody's feelings if I do this over this. But like, if your intention is not to hurt somebody's feelings and you genuinely are coming from a place of love, and that always, whatever, that is honestly how you should be making your decisions. You shouldn't be That should be your primary concern, is making your decisions based off from a place of like love for yourself and just like the energy of loving kindness in general. And yes, like on paper that can look sort of people could criticize you for your choosing love over fear, but that's only because most people have been like trapped in a loop of choosing like and making fear-based decisions as opposed to like choices out of love, for example. And this is going to be controversial, but say like, I don't know why this is coming through, but like, somebody who is in a marriage that they like actually starting to resent and like hate the person that they're with. I know that's such a harsh word, but it can build up, and we're not going to sit here and act like it doesn't exist. But there's something about like someone trying to choose if they should like stay in a very unhappy relationship for the sake of like children versus, still being in their children's lives, but just choosing themselves and their own happiness, so that they're not depressed and miserable, right? And honestly, that type of person could be a better parent for their kids if they were more emotionally fulfilled, You know what I mean? So, but making that choice can be seen as like, oh, that's so selfish, oh, blah 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 blah. You should have thought about like that before you even had kids, which that's not for anybody to say, and it honestly doesn't matter. Like, don't worry about yesterday, and don't, you know what I mean? Obviously, don't make any impulsive decisions that you haven't thought through, right? That's important too. But if you know for a fact that you've been very, very, very unhappy in a situation, um, so oftentimes that like discomfort is trying to guide you towards doing something that is like more aligned, regardless of how it appears on the outside. Again, as long as you're not harming anybody or like violating someone's free will or something like that. If you have like really dark impulses like that, please seek professional help or whatever. But this is really like this energy is coming through as it is something to where you may have to, like, I don't know, say you were like talking to this person for 6 months and you're talking to this person for like 2 months, but you realize that, oh, this person I've been talking to for a shorter period of time is like actually in full alignment, like this would be the love of my life, but I have more shared history with this person, so should I just like settle for the sake of our, like, this person I was talking to late longer, so I should be with them, and that's just what's fair. I think that you shouldn't be that's your life is too important for you to be like making decisions like that for the sake of, oh, it's more fair for me to choose this person because I was talking to them for longer. That's not how it works. um Everybody is kind of like responsible for their own lives. If you're making decisions based on what you think is going to make the people in your life like happier, then and you're putting yourself last, that's never what you should be doing. And sometimes choosing yourself and choosing like the love-based decision can make things more like complicated in the short term, but in the long term it's like easier, as opposed to having like a prolonged tension. I don't know. It's better to just sort of like, I don't know, I'm hearing stuff like, oh, just like bite the bullet for like, say for example, if you are kind of like leaving someone to, say you want to be single for a while, or you want to like experience true love and not just like a love that like was built off of, you guys ended up together due to convenience, or just it was like lust based and then you guys got attached to each other and stuff like that, so you feel stuck, but you're not actually stuck. Like, if you're not in prison, and you are of sound mind and body or whatever, you're not trapped. Like, there's still air in your lungs. You could still choose what will make you happier. And you have to think of like, oh, even if it is something that would be a little tense for the next, oh, I saw this cute squirrel, but like, even if it was something that would be a little tense for like, I don't know, a few months, right? Or even a week or a few weeks or whatever, you know what I mean? You have to think, in 5 years time, how happy and how pleased will you be with yourself that you just like did what your heart was telling you to do. Because I think that like, I don't know, I think that like true genuine happiness is more of a commodity at this, like, in this day and age, and that's what you should be prioritizing. It's easy for someone to have uh like the perfect life on paper, and like, appearances held up, and you please everyone in your family and blah blah blah. But like, that's relatively easy to do compared to feeling genuine emotional fulfillment. And so like, that old cycle of only like thinking about, I don't know, more like, you just have to put your like happiness first, even if that involves hard decisions, even if that involves like needing to turn somebody down, even if that means you have to like go back on promises you made. That doesn't mean you're a liar, that doesn't mean you're anything. It just means that you grew and you are doing your best at every moment to live like in alignment with your highest truth, right? So that you can actually be happy and live a life that you're proud of and stuff like that.